It's the Road to World Cup 26 podcast, your deep dive into everything FIFA World Cup every single week. Part of the Global Sports Podcast Network.
You are listening to the Road to World Cup 26 podcast. We are 2 days or a day and a bit or a day and a half, who knows, into the knockout stages. We've got some fantastic, well, 3 magnificent games to talk about, plus also Canada versus South Africa. And, well, goals and controversy and last second stuff and emotion and penalties and all sorts of stuff. The knockout stages have got out to a great start. Joining me, as always, I should introduce myself. My name is Nick Britten. You should know that by now if you're a regular listener or watcher to the podcast. Ken Davies is my colleague, sporting a very natty shirt with something written on the I can't see it on the pocket there.
It's Italian and it says l'uomo, l'uomo. I think that means the man. The man. Ken is the man. I think so.
Right. Okay.
It could be anything. As you say, it could be McDonald's or something.
Yeah, it looks like it. Yeah,
a chain of fast food restaurants in Milan, for all I know.
You do. You look like you've just come back to work from a very well-known DIY shop. Anyway, good to see you, mate. It's a couple of days in, and
this is an extra, by the way. This is an extra one, isn't it?
Yeah, we weren't going to record till Thursday, but it's been so good. We've jumped on one.
Have you completely turned full circle now, then, in terms of this is a great World Cup? Like
I turned full circle. I turned full circle after day 3.
Good lad.
That was it. I think I probably just built myself up to it being really exciting, and the start wasn't. But it has been after a couple of days, and it's been great ever since.
It's been a great World Cup.
Every game has been nearly every game.
Not every game, but
has been an absolute corker.
It's just delivered. It really has. And actually, the format, which I thought was going to be a bit crap, if we can put it in those languages, actually has been pretty good. Even the third,
it's been great.
The third place playoff thing has been kind of where's the league table going to finish?
I think that's been a big bonus. The whole third place 48 team thing has been a big bonus because it's just otherwise the group stages end, don't they, after 2 games half the time? They're just dead rubbers here, there, everywhere.
I think we're going to go back to that, by the way, next time, aren't we, with the 64 team World Cup, if that's the way it works out.
Well, if they're going to do it, make it even bigger. I'm all for it now. I've decided that actually every country should be in the World Cup, and it should last 6 months, and it would be great. Yeah,
and the Isle of Man, some tiny little atoll in the middle of the Pacific that me and you go and inhabit. We can have our own football team in the World Cup. Brilliant idea.
We could get in. Who's going in goal though? You or me?
I think I'd be better in goal because you're probably fitter running around.
Yeah, okay. You go in goal. I'll play defence, midfield and attack.
Yeah.
We can do that. We'll probably have to find one or two. Listeners, if you fancy being part of the Road to World Cup 26 football team or Road to World Cup 30 football team, then let us know.
Yeah, but this is actually quite important because then we could create our own little utopia on this little island, couldn't we?
Yeah.
I mean, it'd probably get a bit dodgy, wouldn't it? I would imagine.
How do we get the beer in? That's all I'm really bothered about.
Stop nitpicking. Stop splitting hairs. We're going to build a utopia where everybody is free and everybody is contribution is based on their ability to contribute. It's going to be a beautiful future.
Blimey, communism at work. Who would have thought it? Right. Anyway, football. 4 games to discuss so far, the 4 knockout games. South Africa versus Canada, which, if I'm brutally honest, will not take up much of our podcast today. Then Brazil, Japan, Germany, Paraguay, and Netherlands, Morocco. Let's start. We might as well just go through them chronologically, shall we? South Africa versus Canada. Ken, it was a very dull game featuring very 2 average championship level sides, I would say. And one in, mercifully, just as extra time was looming, and we would have to suffer an extra half hour of this absolute nonsense. Estequiel popped up with the 93rd minute and scored. Hooray! And it was a very good goal, to be fair, totally out of place with the rest of the game. South Africa, who sat back for the last 20 minutes and quite clearly playing for extra time penalties, deserved what they got out of it. Canada were the one team looking to win it, and they did win it. So good for them.
Yeah, they were the better team. South Africa, let's be honest, only got there based on a win in the last game of the group stages. They never really.
That is the kind of point of the group stages.
Well, it is the point in the group stages, but they kind of
What
did
you're meant to do, isn't
They
it?
came out of nowhere, though, didn't they? They came out of nowhere, South Africa. They were going home after 2 games. See ya, thanks for coming. And then they got this slightly fluky win, and then they were so they are a very ordinary team. They are probably the most ordinary team. Cape Verde would beat South Africa.
Oh
They're
yeah.
They're the most ordinary team of the 32. So kind of glad Canada won, but Canada weren't that much better. So this is as far as they're going to go, I think, because we're about to talk about who they're about to come up against, and they're not getting past them. So yeah, well done, Canada. Good for the hosts to get through the first knockout stage. I think it's always good for that. But I think they've probably reached their zenith.
Yes, I think so. But there were many better games just around the corner. Brazil versus Japan. Now, both of us had Japan down to win this game.
Yeah.
I fancied them, and I don't think they really gave a great account of themselves, if I'm honest. I don't think they played to the level where I expected them to get to. We knew kind of what they were going to do because they tend to sit deep and they are lightning fast on a break. And one of their great abilities of being lightning fast on the break is their ability to use the ball so well. I don't think they used the ball well enough when they got it yesterday. They scored a very Japan goal to take the lead on 29 minutes, just capitalizing on a bit of slackness in the Brazil defense. And you thought, yeah, okay, fine. They don't let in many goals. They're good at what they do. They've done the right thing in terms of they got themselves ahead, set themselves up here. But second half, Brazil just came out and blew them away. And what I was just most disappointed, we'll come on to Brazil in a minute, by the way. But what I was most disappointed about in Japan is that they just sat deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. They didn't really do anything when they had the ball. It didn't create really any opportunities in the second half. And look, I've criticised Ghana for parking the bus. And I'm afraid I've kind of got to do the same with Japan, because if you don't have that ability to spring forward at pace with numbers, all you're doing is parking the bus and defending a 1-0 lead.
It rarely works. And I think my take on the game from a Japanese perspective was I think they got their tactics wrong. In the sense of when I look at where I think the Japanese are really good is they're technically very strong, they're incredibly fit, and they're extremely good at the press. And they're really good at the press. I mean, I don't think I've seen better teams at pressing the opposition. They gave up on all that in the second half. There's none of that in the second half. All there was just letting Brazil come onto them and hoping they're going to last out, really. I mean, I'm paraphrasing, but there was a lot more of that in the second half than there was in the first half. And I don't think that plays to Japan's strengths, because they're not a massively physical team. They're not a massively tall team. And I just think ultimately teams with, particularly with some exceptional players in them, and Brazil have got an exceptional player, I think are going to find the key to unlock that door. And that's what happened in the end. Essentially, honestly, if Japan had carried on playing with a little bit more verve and a little bit more proactivity in the second half, I think they would have won that game. I think tactically they got it wrong second half.
Well, as much as they tactically got it wrong in the second half, Brazil got it right in the second half. And we talked before this World Cup actually started about the Carlo Ancelotti effect.
Yeah.
And how he might turn Brazil from a pretty average side into potential World Cup winners. And certainly semi-finalists and even finalists. And the difference that he could make. Well, he made a massive difference yesterday because he started out with a 4-3-3 with Bruno Guimaraes, Casemiro and Lucas Paquetá in the midfield. At half-time, 1-0 down and not really causing Japan many problems, he removed Paquetá, put Endrick on, but put him on as a 10 and went much more kind of 4. It was kind of 4-2, sort of 3-1, or even sometimes 4-1, 4-1, because Bruno Guimaraes sort of got forward quite a lot towards the end of the game. And what that allowed Brazil to do was Vinicius Junior kind of went because Endrick had pushed up into that 10, Vinicius Junior went wide one side, Rayan went wide the other, and they just spent the entire second half just banging in crosses. And I had imagined very much they looked at Japan in the first half and thought, we can't play through them.
No.
With they're too compact, we can't play through them, so we're going to have to go wide. And it was almost when you watch the second half, all they did was just get crosses into the box. They just put it wide, cross, put it wide, cross, put it wide, cross, and sooner or later, it's impossible. You can't defend that for 45 minutes.
It's going to give, yeah. And particularly if you're Japan, because let's be honest, it's not full of 6'5" massive defenders, is it?
Well, they're not Ghana. They're not Paraguay. Who can just head it away, and head it away. And in the end, it worked. And Casemiro scored a very good goal, good header. We've seen him do that sort of header loads of times for Manchester United at the back post, just giving himself a yard or so and powering it past the keeper. And it did look like it was going to go to extra time, although I never felt it would, if I'm honest with you.
Lovely goal to
I said to my son, I was watching it with, that Brazil are going to score. It just became inevitable.
You get that feeling sometimes, don't you? But I mean, they did leave it extremely late, but it was a beautiful finish by Martinelli.
Well, it was a beautiful finish from Martinelli, and a particularly beautiful ball by Bruno Guimaraes.
Yeah, it was.
Who, in that position, just inside the area, with the clock running down into the last few seconds of the game, the temptation would have been to shoot.
Yeah,
but he just
beautiful pass.
Softly. It was the weight of the pass. It was the touch of the pass, which I think really allowed Martinelli to control with his left and fire straight with his right. If that ball had been hit any harder or any softer, it would not have probably led to that goal.
Yeah,
and so Bruno deserves a lot of credit for that. It'll add another 0 onto his transfer fee to Arsenal, and he's done. He's at 4 assists. He's the leading assist maker in the World Cup so far. 4 assists out of 4 games. So well done to Brazil. They deserved it. They were a better team on a day. I said to you via text message last night, didn't you? I might, having taken them out of I predicted Brazil to get to the final 4 and lose in the semi-final, and then I had to kind of reverse ferret on that a little bit after their group games, because I don't think they've been very good. I thought yesterday they looked like the sort of team that could get into a semi-final of a World Cup.
I think they could. I don't think they will. I think they were much better second half. They had a pretty poor first half.
They did.
To be honest, Brazil have had 2 decent halves in the whole tournament. They really have. The second half against Morocco. Was it second half against Morocco? No, maybe it was the second against Scotland.
They never
turned up at all, did they? Really? Not in the first half. But they're not good enough yet. One of the things about Vinny Junior, which I can't quite work out, is he's like Jack Grealish on acid, in the sense of I don't think Vinicius Junior really wants to be compared to Jack Grealish, even on acid. No, he's very one-footed, and he's always turning back in, isn't he? Always, and that, in my opinion, that makes him much easier to defend against if you stop him, and because I don't think he's that good going on the outside. So, I think teams are going to wise up to that, aren't they?
Well, you can wise up to it as much as you like, but if you're a great player, you'll find a way.
He's a very, very good player, but I don't.
Because there are plenty of players who've tried to tackle him. Because he's been the star of Brazil's show up until now, and it was quite good to see Brazil win last night, where he wasn't the star of the show. He wasn't really impacting the game that much, other than just slinging in crosses in the second half. So it's good to see other players step up. I think Brazil needed that, and needed other players to come forward, because there's been a little bit too much reliance on Vinny.
I think that's true. And actually, when you do see the amount of talent they've got at their disposal, they're a powerful force. I just don't think they're quite. They're not one of the best 4 teams I've seen so far. They might get to the semis, but I can't see it getting. I think they're going out in the quarters. Anyway, but it was a great game, and it was an absolute classic. Really, the kind of game that I loved the World Cup for, because there was a lot riding on it. And
as was Germany Paraguay.
Wow!
I'll tell you what. Do you want to do a little ad first, or should we do this? Well, let's do this, and then we'll do a little ad.
Okay.
Germany Paraguay. So the first of the shocks, the first of the what I would call the big guns to go out, and in terms of previous World Cup winners, previous World Cup history, and indeed the first of the underdogs to really strike a blow, because not many people, us included, gave Paraguay a chance, even though Germany have been less than impressive since their opening game. And yeah, listen, well done, Paraguay, because they they were nothing. They were nothing if not dogged. And I think one of the things I enjoyed watching about Paraguay was, and you do get this with sort of Paraguay and Uruguay in particular, although they've gone home now. When they're up against it a little bit, they just resort to 1970s defending, where
Love
they
it.
don't necessarily worry about the ball. Let's just try and kick people as hard as we can. And some of the fouls that were going in,
I know.
and the
Go
referee's going, no, no, it's like 1970s referee as well. No, play on, play on. No, don't worry
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah.
Go,
Let's have
hang
a
about. Sorry, ref, my ankle's on the other side of the stadium with my
yeah.
foot attached to it, and I'm still here. No, 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 that's okay. That's
Yeah,
okay.
it's contact sport. It's contact
It's
sport,
got-
son.
on
Yeah,
the ball.
it was like a 1970s game. I mean, I expected him to stop for a cigarette break rather than a water break. You know what I mean? Hydration break. But yeah, it was. It was. I mean, Germany were very ordinary in the first half. They weren't that much better in the second half. You never back anyone against Germany in the penalty shootout, especially not Paraguay. But because their performance on penalties in the World Cup is absolutely astounding.
Oh
Germany,
yeah, yeah.
astounding. It's like 17 out of 18 scored or something crazy. But they looked nervous all the way through. But I thought they'd won it in the end. I thought they'd won it in the end when they got it level, and then
That was
they went to sudden death.
well.
I thought it was all over there. I thought Germany are
Just
definitely going through now.
I thought they won it when they scored a perfectly good goal with about whatever it
Oh
was,
yeah,
15,
yeah,
16
yeah,
minutes to go.
yeah.
And the VAR totally unnecessarily gets involved. The referee doesn't have enough backbone to stick up for himself, and the goal is ruled out. There was nothing wrong with that.
No, I know.
Well, it wasn't even a sort of a dive by the goalkeeper having been touched. He just sort of fell over, but then he did get up and try and save it. And the ball went in, and he didn't run up to the referee saying, "I've been fouled, I've been fouled."
Well, I don't think
So
anybody expected that to be ruled out on the pitch.
nobody appealed. I mean, given the amount of appealing that goes on for any kind of touch or contact or anything like that, nobody appealed. Nobody sort of thought anything more about it. Thought it was a perfectly good goal. And having looked at it several times since on the slow mo and from different angles, there's nothing which suggests that the referee got that right. And I mean, it just kind of plays into my sense of the refereeing at this tournament, which I just don't think has been very good.
Interesting.
Well, I say it's don't been very good. Well, it hasn't been very good based on the modern game. It's probably been very good based on, as we said, 1970s football, where you just let anything happen.
Yeah, I love that.
We're not used to it. So maybe it's been really good. We're just not used to seeing it. I don't know.
It's interesting, isn't it? Because refereeing standards and refereeing views of what constitutes a foul does differ around the world. It does. I mean, it does, shouldn't
But
do.
normally in Europe, referees are far stricter on things like handball.
Oh yeah,
In
far
England, in the Premier League and Championship, they apply the rule correctly, the handball rule, which is they take into consideration: is it deliberate? Are your arms making you unnaturally bigger? What's your body position? Is it natural movement? Are you falling down and balls hit your hand as you're trying? Is it natural movement and all that kind of stuff? In Europe, they don't bother with that. So I could pick the ball up and wallop it at your hand from a yard out, and you could do nothing about it. And they might brush your little finger, and they'll give you a handball. So I like the way the UK handles the handball much more than Europe. Here, blimey, I mean, anything goes, frankly. Anything
Well,
goes.
Jalal Jayed, the referee, is from Morocco.
Right.
So maybe
Mm.
things are different in Morocco. Things are different.
You should know, mate. You were there.
I
You were there
know
last
things
week.
are. I can tell you things are different in Morocco. So
But the penalties, the penalties. So it was a great penalty. If you haven't seen the penalty shootout, by the way, go and watch it, because
shocking.
Germany missed 2 penalties, and Paraguay they were miles ahead in the penalty shootout, and they had 2 chances to win it, and missed both penalties. And when it got to that level bit, Germany essentially came back from 2-0 down in the penalty shootout, if you like.
Yeah.
You thought, well, there's only going to be one winner here.
Yeah.
But Germany missed, and then Paraguay finally scored. And the penalties were outrageous.
Outrageously bad.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean, one of them looked
particularly-
like a clearance.
Well, that was Tar's penalty. That was awful.
Yeah.
That's still going.
Yeah.
It's just about reaching the moon as we speak.
Yeah. Was that in Houston, that game? Because it was like something off Cape Canaveral.
Voltemada. I mean, I've got to have a word about poor old Nick
Voltemada.
Voltemada. He arrived in the Premier League at the start of last season with a bit of a fanfare, at Newcastle United. He'd made his debut for the national team and had done well, scored some goals, came to Newcastle as the great hope to replace Alexander Isak. And he started all right. He played well in his first few games at Newcastle, but kind of just went downhill pretty much from the first third of the season onwards. And then he played in midfield. He played as a 10. Then he kind of found himself on a bench. And it ended up being a really poor season. And he's just carried that on into the World Cup. I mean, he came on, I don't even know if he touched the ball, but he just looks utterly, utterly devoid of confidence. And then they've given him a penalty to take.
Yeah.
And you could just tell you didn't.
Yeah.
It was the easiest save a goalkeeper's going to make in any penalty shootout in this World Cup.
Very poor.
He signposted exactly where he was going to put it. He side-footed it.
Yeah.
It wasn't anywhere near the corner. It wasn't very hardly hit. It was like he just didn't want to be there.
Good height for the keeper. I mean, I've got a theory that German players come to the Premier League, none of them work out ever. Very, very few. Very, very few.
I think for Nick Voltemada, he is a very good player. There's no doubt about that. He's a very good player, but I think maybe he needs to get out of the Premier League, go back to Germany, take a step down in terms of the level that he's playing at, and just rebuild his confidence.
We'll have him at Wrexham.
Score goals, you know.
We'll have him at Wrexham. Okay, so
when I say go down a level, I don't mean go down 10 levels. I mean go down one level.
Oi. There's not much difference between them. Right, the Road to World Cup 26 podcast has partnered with Bionic, the world's most personalised supplements, because your body's unique, and because without knowing exactly what your body needs, if you're just taking off-the-shelf supplements, you might be getting too much of what you don't need, not enough of what you do need. Bionic provide 100% tailor-made supplements, so your body will be specifically crafted for your individual body. Imagine that. So click on the show notes, more details. You'll get 50% off your first order if you click on that link.
It's the Road to World Cup 26 podcast, your deep dive into everything FIFA World Cup every single week. Part of the Global Sports Podcast Network.
You're listening to Road to World Cup 26 podcast, and we'd love to hear from you, so do drop us a line. Road to World Cup 26 at gmail.com. Road to World Cup 26 at gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you and hear your thoughts. I had a couple of very nice messages from people on Spotify. One of them was very scathing of you, Ken, so I particularly liked it.
Scathing of me?
Yeah, scathing of you, saying you had no idea. It was when we were talking about Scotland, and I think, to be fair,
no idea. From what? Who is that from? From N. Britten?
No, it's from Steve Clark, actually. So I enjoyed that one. No, but I think, to be fair, when I read his comment, he kind of got the wrong end of the stick of what you were saying. Not to say that you weren't wrong. Right, okay, let's crack on with the games. Germany, Paraguay, we have talked about. So the last two games are...
Well, the last one game. One game that's been played is Netherlands against Morocco. My favourite team.
You want to talk about England, isn't he?
I do want to have a quick conversation about England, but let's deal with Netherlands against Morocco.
Yeah, let's deal with this.
I had them down, of course, Morocco to win this one, and they did, thank God. Bit lucky, good header in the end, though, to get a point, to get the draw.
Well, they left it late. It was a very good goal from Cody Gakpo, and we must just stop and pause.
Bless him, yeah.
Yeah, we've got to just pause and reflect on what's been a terrible week for Cody and his family. And I was so pleased he scored. It didn't work out for the Netherlands in the end, but that probably would have been a big moment for him. And everybody here at Road to World Cup 26 sends him our best wishes. Morocco left it late, 92nd minute. There's definitely a theme emerging here. In the knockout games, two themes: late goals and crap penalties.
A third theme, actually, which I want to tell you about, which is this.
Okay, well, let's just focus on this then. Okay. So Diop equalised with a very good header, although I've got to say, I mean, it was actually a great header. What a ball.
Yeah,
what a ball
it was. It was a great ball.
And it was a good goal. And I don't know whether look, Morocco were pushing. They were pushing. They dominated. I think Morocco dominated large parts of the game. But it was a good game. I enjoyed it, and it was. It
Two
was. You
positive teams.
kind of think that 1-1 was a fair result.
It
Did you
wasn't.
or not? Did you think that perhaps Netherlands deserved it?
No, I thought Morocco was probably slightly the better team, but yeah, both teams played with intensity. They both wanted to win. They both thought they could win. That's always good. If both teams think they're better than the other team, that's always a recipe for a good game. I've got as everybody knows who listen to this podcast, I've got a nice sweet feeling for Morocco. I think they're going to go a very long way in this. I'm glad they got through. Who would have thought?
It was only really since you were in Morocco about a week and a half ago.
No.
Since you started banging on about it.
No, I think if you listen to episode 12, I think you'll find I talked about it at length about Morocco being really. Yeah, definitely. Go and have.
I think you're jumping on the bandwagon.
No, I'm not jumping on the bandwagon. I've been pro Morocco since about.
Well, I'm just looking at
1926.
I'm just looking at our episode list, and on episode 12 we talked about Japan. So
yeah, and what I said in that episode was, well, Japan is going to do well as long as you don't come up against Morocco.
Right, I'm going to re-listen to episode 29, which was our focus on Morocco. And
that'll be worth listening to.
But I'm going to listen to that because we recorded that quite a while ago because we're now on episode like 68. So
we were massively pro Morocco, and then we had a wobble about Morocco when they lost their manager.
Yes, we did. No, you are right. To be fair, yeah we are.
And then we've realised that actually that hasn't changed anything. But who would have thought that by now we would have lost the Netherlands and Germany?
Well, nobody is the answer to that. Although to be fair, you could look. Germany losing was a shock. Netherlands losing, although I thought they played a good tournament, and I've enjoyed watching them.
Exactly.
And you don't want to come up against one of the better teams in the tournament in the first knockout game, do you? You just don't want that. It was a rubbish draw for the Netherlands.
Yep.
But I thought they played well. But their penalties were absolutely awful. It's as simple as that. It was absolutely awful.
Morocco wasn't that great, to be honest.
They missed 3. Morocco missed 2. So yeah, you're right. They weren't particularly good. But there we are. If you can't score from the penalty shootout, then.
So the standard of penalties has been pretty poor. I've got a theory, by the way, that penalties are getting harder to score. And I think the rate of conversion of penalties has got successively lower. In fact, I'm going to do some work on that. I'll let you know on that.
Yeah, I was talking about this last night for exactly this reason. After watching the Paraguay-France game, and the person I was having a discussion with, we both said the same, and we thought it was down to several things. One being that there's just so much analysis now.
Yeah. Goalkeeper research is far better now.
There's so much goalkeeper. Yeah, they come with it all in the water bottles, this, that, and the other. That's about as far as we got, to be honest. But it's a good enough reason.
Yeah, I think that's true. The other thing is, by the way, and we saw this in the penalty shootouts. Very, very, very few players go down the middle now.
I'll tell you the other thing. Oh yeah, sorry. I'll tell you the other reason. The other reason why we think goalkeepers it's becoming harder to score. It's not necessarily because of the brilliance of goalkeepers. It's because of the current trend of this stupid stuttery runner.
Yeah.
Where by the time you kick the ball, you've got no momentum.
Yeah,
so you can't kick it nearly as hard as you can if you just run up and kick it. And this kind of stop-start, stuttery, this, that, and the other. And nearly all of those ones have missed.
Yeah, I agree.
That was the other reason.
No, I agree. We'll have to do a separate episode on that, but there's definitely a trend there. The other trend I want to talk about, because we've banged on about this, and we may have banged on about it on this podcast. We may have banged on about it when we were doing other football-related podcasts. Is the pointlessness of extra time? No goals in either of the two games in extra time, and both of them, they were both waiting for penalties.
Yes, I'm glad you brought that up because I was waiting for you to bring that up because I know that you've been having a bee in your bonnet about that for quite a long time.
Extra time is a pointless exercise, particularly in hot weather. Absolutely pointless. They just kick it around for half an hour. It's pointless. what we need to do, and it would save everyone a lot of hassle. Everyone thinks that extra time's exciting. Extra time's never exciting. It's just waiting for penalties. Go to penalties after 90 minutes. That's what I'd do when I get appointed, not if, when I get appointed to the president of FIFA.
It's fair. It's a fair point.
It is.
It's a fair point. And we talked about this before, and I dug out a really interesting research paper about this.
Yeah.
And I think it broadly supported what you were saying.
It's true.
I mean, South Africa were playing for penalties with about 20 minutes of normal time to go.
This is true. Which actually is a neat little segue into the point I wanted to make about England. If you don't
go, because they're playing tomorrow night. Wednesday, it's whatever time it is in America. It's 5 o'clock UK time, which is a very awkward, because we've all got work here. It's a very awkward thing. I might miss
5 o'clock. Yeah, I'm on a train tomorrow. I'm in Manchester.
Half,
I might have to go into a pub and watch it for 2 hours in Manchester.
Well, I'm over in Nottingham, so I should be able to listen at least to the first half in the car if I don't get back for it.
Well, yeah. This is my point.
What do you think?
This is my point. Harry Kane. Harry Kane is not coming off the field because he's too good at penalties for a penalty shootout. Okay, you're not going to substitute Harry Kane at any point. You're not, because he's the best penalty taker. My point is this: you should not therefore start him. You should bring Kane on, because assume a game's going to be 120 minutes, not 90. Bring Kane on at 60. Give him 60 minutes or 30 if we've won. Doesn't matter. But don't start him, because particularly against teams that pack the defence, that's just going to be pointless exercise with Kane. Because you've got to keep him on for the full 120, don't play him from minute one. Bring him on after 60 and play Tony and your man from who?
Yeah, Ollie Watkins.
Ollie Watkins. Start with them two. Bring Kane after 60 minutes if it's going pear-shaped. That would be my tactical advice to Tuchel.
So, don't play the England captain, is your advice to the England manager?
Yeah, because we know he's got to be there for when they do penalty shootout.
Yeah, but what if he scores, twice in the first half?
Yeah, but what if Tony scores? Or what if Watkins scores?
Yeah, but Kane's got a far, 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 far higher chance of scoring than anybody else in the England team.
Nah.
On the basis that he is our leading goal scorer.
If
and he scored 3 times already.
I mean, Dr. Congo, as I now like to call them, they've got a blueprint, haven't they? All they have to do is pretend they're Ghana, put their own shirts on, and go and defend like their life depends on it. And England can't break that down.
Mate, I think you raise a very, very good point. And I don't often say that because normally I don't often mean it, because what you normally say is nonsense. You raise a very good point.
Thank you.
So say to Tony or say to Watkins, you've got half an hour.
Yeah.
There you go and play for half an hour and make a substitute a half an hour into the first half. That'd be amazing. You never see that.
Give you the first half. Give you the first half. Go and score 2 goals. Here's the first half, and then second half, I'm going to put Kane on because I'm playing him for the next. I'm going to play him for the next 90 minutes.
Nothing wrong with that argument whatsoever. It's perfectly rational.
Blimey.
Oop. It's perfectly rational. God, I'm shaking my head. I don't really know what to say now. We'll close. Can we just close this podcast down?
I know we should close the whole series now.
Okay, in a year and a half.
Well, this doesn't get any better than this. No, honestly, I'm going to trademark that idea. You'll see by 3 days' time, people saying, "Oh, we should have put Tony and Watkins on at the start." But
hey, listen, it's smart.
Thank you.
I like it. So we'll see. It won't happen, obviously.
No, it won't happen, obviously. And we'll regret it not happening, I'm telling you.
Oh, we'll see. We'll see. Because if Kane scores a hat-trick against DR Congo in the first half, then everybody look at you and go, Ken, can you just put your stupid ideas back in their box and never say anything
I won't
again?
be on the next podcast. I'll be ill. Mentally ill, obviously.
Well,
I'll be.
That's never stopped you for a year and a half.
So that's my idea only about England. But I think England are going to be too strong anyway for Dr. Congo, and we'll go on from there.
Problems at right back, mate. I'll tell you now. We're only into the first knockout game. and England's defensive squad selection is coming home to roost a little bit.
Oh my God.
Livramento going home injured, having been injured most of the season. James injured, having been injured here and there all season. Concha came in at right back and got injured. So it'll be Jed Spence, who is kind of fourth choice fullback, making his fourth appearance of the tour.
Yeah, and Nico O'Reilly.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not going to be good enough. I mean, I hope everybody understands we're not winning the World Cup with that fullback setup and the centre halves we've got. We're not winning the World Cup.
Yeah, it staggered me. I mean, listen, I'm a big fan of Tuchel, and I want England to do well, obviously. But when he says things like, on Reece James's hamstring injury, nobody saw that coming. I'm just like, sorry, have you not watched Reece James for the last 5 years?
Yeah.
All he does, and he's a great player when he's fit, but all he does is get injured.
Yeah.
And we said at the start of this, didn't we? At the start of this competition, you look at Livramento, you look at Stones, you look at James, 3 players he's selected in his defence who have either been massively injury prone all this season and sometimes before, or they haven't played most of the season.
I mean, Stones looked like he'd never played the game before when he played the first game.
Well, the problem is he might have to play tomorrow because
this is the
Konza might be
thing.
forced into playing right back at some stage.
Yeah, exactly. Well, this is what's going to happen. This is why the Maguire decision was stupid, and we said it at the time. We're not being wise after the event. We said it at the time. So, but there you go.
Maybe Big Dan Burns' time is coming.
We could do a lot worse. But it's going to be the fullback areas that we're gonna get. I mean, and presumably, the ex-Liverpool guy in Real Madrid, Trent.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, yeah, but he's not a defender though.
He's not a great defender, but at least he knows this.
No, I'm not having it. No, I'm not having it. I'm not having it. If you're going to play like Tuchel plays, Trent is no good. If you want to completely change the way you want to play, then there's certainly an argument for Trent. Without doubt, there's an argument for him, but not the way Tuchel wants to play. So, but yeah, it's a worry. This is a worry. This right back.
Your predictions then for England against Dr. Congo?
I think it's going to be a really dull game.
No
that's
way.
going to be.
I think the Ghana game.
I think it might be not for England, but because of the way DR Congo are going to play. Yeah. I think the only way they can play is just do exactly what Ghana did and just park the bus and
we can't
sit there and say to England, right, come and break us down. So it's up to England to learn the lessons from Ghana and do something better. Learn the lessons from Brazil versus Japan, which is get the ball wide, cross it and cross it and cross it, get Tony on, get Watkins on, get Kane on, get headers of the ball in there.
Now we're talking. A bit of movement. We need movement.
Yeah.
If they're going to play like Ghana, we need Watkins and Tony on.
Yeah.
Because Kane, it's not going to work for Kane. It's not his kind of game. Kane is going to be great against better teams. Kane is not great against crap teams.
Indeed. Right, last word. Last word on this podcast is that Jurgen Klopp is being linked very heavily with a return to Germany. Julian Nagelsmann, who, well, he can't surely keep your job as manager of Germany if you're knocked out by Paraguay in the first knockout game, round of 32, surely. No, and to be honest, he's not very good. I don't like the guy, if I'm honest. He looks like a bit of a hobo in his T-shirt and his trousers, and he moans a lot, and he just doesn't look very happy.
You're such a boomer, Nick. You're such a
no,
boomer.
Listen, I think managers at least ought to make the effort.
What are you going to do? You're going to the status quo now after this this podcast. Watch Last of the Summer Wine. You're such a boomer.
You look like you're in it, to be fair. You look like Compo with that little beard. No. Listen, I'll make a big effort. I don't want to make a massive thing out of this, but at least either wear sports gear, or if you're going to dress casually, put a kind of a polo shirt or a shirt on or something. It just looks a bit of a tramp. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. So I was thinking about what podcast we should do after we've finished the Road to World Cup in a few weeks' time. What we're going to do. Listeners, by the way, if you want to keep hearing me and Nick talk bollocks regularly, tell us what you want us to do as a next podcast, and we'll do it. Honestly, we're democratic people. But actually, you've just given us a great idea there, Nick. We could do you could do the kind of the sartorial qualifications of football managers, a whole podcast series.
Because I have views on this. I don't think it'd be a very interesting podcast, but I could insert a little segment into a proper podcast.
Well, as long as you don't do it on this one, I'm fine. But it's I mean, that was the very interesting discussion about Germany should sack the manager because his threads aren't good enough.
There you go. There's lots of reasons. Lots of reasons, mate. Listen, just Gareth Southgate in his waistcoat.
Oh yeah.
From that to this. That's what I'm saying.
All right, fair enough. Right, so prediction: England against Dr. Congo. What's going to happen?
I think England will win, but it might be extra time. It might be penalties, or it might just be a really quite a dour 1-0 win.
No,
England will win 5-0 by.
England are going to win 3-0. England are going to be 3-0. It's going to be 2-0 at half time.
Okay, we shall see.
We shall see.
Not goals from Kane though, because he won't be on by then.
I hope not. Well, he might be on by then. He won't be there for the first two. He'll be there. He'll score the third one. That's right.
Okay, very good. Right, till then, we'll speak to you on Thursday then, after the England game, and we'll see whether Ken's predictions are right. We'll see whether Thomas Tuchel is listening to Ken's sage advice on tactics, formation, and personnel.
Don't hold your breath. He's not. Yeah.
Don't hold your breath, but you never know. Until then, keep enjoying the football. Look after yourselves. Look after each other. Goodbye.
Au revoir.
It's the Road to World Cup 26 podcast, your deep dive into everything FIFA World Cup every single week. Part of the Global Sports Podcast Network.